lineman. His arm is as big as the arm I've ever been around, maybe other than Troy Smith's. He's still learning the game. His upside is through the roof. They both have enough mobility to get themselves out of trouble.
So you think it'll take a few weeks to
yeah. It'll take a few weeks.
not get a opinion out.
Yeah.
Back with Darrell, that question about the quarterbacks. You guys utilize this quarterback for every game since 2009. You guys this season?
Season started.
A quarterback for each game since 2009. Is that something that's important to you to have started the place?
Well, I think there's something to be said about continuity for you. The guys performing when you still do it. If it's not, then you won't. That's what it comes down to. Obviously, we know it's a real, so we keep it in there. The main goal is what? It's to win games.
How are you from a health standpoint? Are there going to be some guys out to start camp?
No. There should not be anybody. Let me question. I don't think we have anybody that we need to hold out. Swingler will be able to go some things. We're not sure he's going to be 100%, but he'll be able to do some things. On the defensive side, all those guys are free to go. We'll be very cautious with some guys, but also
Marcus Freeman, I think you've known him for about a decade now, at least. What?
2004.
Okay, so back then, did you see any inkling? Was there an inkling that this was a future coach?
Probably didn't recognize it until he came back and became a graduate assistant coach at Ohio State. I mean, when he's a player, you're looking at him a different way. But when he came back, you said to yourself, this guy's got it. There's something about him that's going to make him really special. He works at it, first of all, he works at it. He's a great player. And he has such a connection with those guys. He gets the most out of them. And he's very smart. Very smart.
How have you seen him grow from all the time he's been with you as a coach?
I think the biggest thing when you're watching, he's a great listener. And doesn't say a whole lot. Great listener, and he knows how to apply it. He loves it. He absolutely loves it.
He seems to get a lot out of his players as well.
Yeah, he always has. I shouldn't say always, because he's only been doing it for a short period of time, but the times that he's had an opportunity to do it, he has.
Yeah, there's like certain coaches are, branded with future superstar in the industry. I mean, is that?
He's definitely one of those up and coming stars for sure. He'll be a head coach at some point in his career.
There seems to be a good connection between King and Rose on your offense. I mean, those two guys.
Bruce,
I'm sorry. The way those guys work together, work off of each other. Especially now, I guess now that they're seniors, we've seen it now for a couple of years. How do those guys sort of bring together?
They get each other, and sometimes I don't get either one of them, but they get each other. It's kind of like the twin thing. But no, those guys are really tight, and they need to be. They do everything off the field together, and they'll fight you to the wall for each other. So they're pretty special together.
What's an example of how you don't get them? Like just.
Well, you know how Bruce would walk in with his beard down to his knees and his hair in a ponytail. I don't get that, but that's who he is. That's okay. That's all right. As long as he's playing and doing the things we're asking him to do, we love him nonetheless. But,
Coach, do you look at last year's game in Iowa as a sign of some growth? I mean, you were down 20-0, snowed, and you guys fought back and made it 2013. I think there was a drop pass in there.
We had 2 drop passes on that drive. We had a drop, skinny post for probably a touchdown, and then a little bit later we had a drop on that same drive, or maybe the next drive, that could have potentially tied the game or put us up, tied the game. But yeah, they fought hard in that game. It was the same thing. We had to make those critical plays. Who knows what the outcome of that game if we make that play.
Right, really, it was in doubt till Kansas City had a long run, 70, 75 years. I don't know how long, 40, I don't know.
that
off right
one.
tackle and that kind of.
And then we were playing good defense, and
Right.
they threw the late screen. I don't know if you remember the screen pass they threw to the tight end
Right.
for a touchdown late in the game.
Yep.
It kind of put a thorn in our side. But, yeah, it was a good football game that last half.
Because it seemed like when it's 20-0 and with the weather, you guys had every reason in the world to quit playing, and they competed maybe even harder after.
Yeah, we had a good play that kind of switched the momentum a little bit on a fake punt. I don't know if you remember that or not. We faked the punt and kind of got us going offensively a little bit. But yeah, there was a lot of fight for guys last year.
Coach, you guys have a ton of experience coming back. How valuable is that, even though it's with a bunch that hasn't had a ton of success in their prior, 2 or 3 seasons at Purdue?
Here's the best way to look at it. A lot of people can associate with this. Think about the first time you put together an end table or a baby carriage. How much easier it is the second time it is to put those things together. There is nothing like experience. Guys being out on the field and figuring it out. And we got a lot of guys that play a lot of football, played a lot of good football. Maybe a little bit before their time, but there's nothing like experience.
Coach, how do you feel about the quarterback situation